So, okay, I'm going to turn it over to Mary. You want to
All
take
right.
notes. You want to take
Yes,
notes,
you
girls.
guys are going to want to take notes and I have a piece of paper because I'm going to share what to do with it in just a minute. But Deb, I've got to say kudos to you because that's some determination to make sure that you're getting your work done that you want to get done. So oftentimes we feel like we know what to do. We just have to decide to actually do it. So Deb decided to actually do it. But sometimes we don't really know what to do, or we don't think we know what to do. So today we're going to go over well, we actually have two parts. Anna's going to be finished wrapping up after I'm done. So the first part though is called what I'm calling an audience audit. So I want you to get out a piece of paper and draw a T on it like this. So you're making four quadrants on your piece of paper. And then you can set it aside. If you're taking notes on something else, that's fine, but don't take notes on that because I'm going to come back to that page in just a little bit. But oftentimes we say we don't have any leads. I don't know anybody. I've asked everybody I do know. Um, so this morning we're going to talk about getting new leads. Anna is going to in just a little bit because that really can be the case. But oftentimes, or what I have personally found is that I need to kind of take an internal review of the leads that I do have because we really do have a ton of connections, um, some on social media, some on our cell phones. I don't know about you guys, but you could probably, pull up your contacts and tell me how many contacts you have. And you've probably not asked everybody in there. You've probably got hundreds of Facebook friends. Um, so if you're thinking, I don't know anybody, I really challenge you to take a hard and honest look. Is it that you don't really know enough people? And if so, like I said, we're going to get to that. But I'm thinking most of us, the problem is that we stopped seeing the people that we already know. It's that connection. So if this is you, then you're like me. Anybody else like me? It's okay to raise your hand. Aha. See, I'm not alone. I love to see that, guys, as I'm looking at the gallery view. Okay. Um, I've been there myself. I have leads that I didn't follow up with. I have customers that I didn't follow up with after sending the lookbook sometimes. Oops, I'm paying to have things done for me. And then I'm not reaping the benefits of what I'm paying for because I'm not doing my follow up. So I'm not talking just to you guys, I'm talking to myself when I say this. Um, some people, uh, everyday people are watching my posts. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but um, posting just about anything. Do you have friends that like react to it? They put a little thumbs up or a heart emoji or something. Maybe they comment on it. Maybe you've put it, and I don't always necessarily add something to my stories, but I do have it set up to where my posts will go to my stories so that I'm doing that story thing. And then when it's done, it'll say you had 67 people watch your story before it ended. Well, that's pretty cool. But if I don't look and see who's doing that, then that's really not helping me, right? But you can actually go in after your story has ended and see who posted or who liked it, who viewed it. Maybe they're just lurking. Do you guys ever just lurk? You never comment. You maybe even read all the comments that somebody else is posting. I see people shaking their heads yes. Okay. So you may not know then who is just that lurker, scrolling through your Facebook, but if they're looking through your stories, you're going to know if you click on that little notification and get to see. And if you have questions on how to do that, reach out to your director or reach out to me later on, and I can walk you through how to check and see who viewed your story. But you have people who are commenting, who are reacting, who are watching your content, watching your videos, seeing your messages. They might be quietly cheering you on from the sidelines, and you haven't even said anything to them. So how many of you have friends that have you've seen a post of theirs, a story of theirs? Maybe you've seen a comment they put on somebody else's thing and you thought about reaching out to them. You thought about commenting on their post. but you didn't make a comment. You didn't even do a reaction to it. I see Liz going, yep, that's me. That's me. Okay. I see several of you guys. All right. Your friends are probably the same way. Sometimes it's we get busy. Sometimes it's like, I'm not exactly sure what to say. There's all kinds of reasons. Um, but the question then to ask is who is already in my world that I've lost connection with or that I've never even made a connection with? Maybe we're friends on Facebook, but I've never actually made a connection with them. Um, Hang on. I gotta think on what I'm gonna say, and I'm checking the okay, oh, checking the comments. Yes. Um, all right. So most consultants are overlooking the four groups, hence the piece of paper right here. Four groups that they already have in their sphere. Um, and before I get, I missed one little thing that I want to make sure to say, and that is, can anybody relate that we are the most connected that we have ever been in the history of mankind, as far as socially, electronically connected? We can see the news in a heartbeat. We know what's going on, across the world. We can talk to people 3,000 miles away in a moment, but yet sometimes we can feel the loneliest. And I think that's sometimes to do with the fact that we don't really have a prospecting problem, but we have an awareness problem. And I think we can't solve world hunger and we can't solve world loneliness, but we can make an impact and a difference by reaching out to those people that God lays on your heart to reach out to them. And so on your piece of paper, I want you to put in the upper left-hand corner, I want you to put customers. Just write the word customers. These are people who already know, like, and trust you. In the next box, I want you to write friends. This is somebody that you know, but for some reason you have never connected on the Mary Kay business level with them. Your next, the lower left-hand corner box, I want you to write acquaintances. Acquaintances are church people you see at church, old classmates, work, school, maybe the kids' activities or your neighbors, people that you know, but you don't really know very well. And with that friends list, um, you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm friends with them, but I'm kind of scared of them. Like they make me nervous for one reason or another. Or I've asked and they didn't respond. And then in the final box in the lower right-hand corner, I want you to write social media connections. These are friends, maybe they're followers, they watch your story, maybe they occasionally message you, but you really don't talk to them a whole lot. And in each one of those, can you guys see that maybe you haven't ran out of contacts? Obviously, you're not actually writing names down on those, but did it get your wheels turning that maybe you haven't ran out of contacts? Did somebody, as you wrote one of those titles down, did somebody pop to mind? And if they did, then write them down, please. Because it's not that we've ran out of contacts, it's that we've ran out of conversations or the conversations have ran dry. So I ask you, when was the last time you checked on a former customer, somebody who maybe hasn't bought in years? You might even consider her still a customer, but she really hasn't bought from you in years. And I'm guilty of this. I have people on my list that I have been reaching out to this week that I have not talked to in years. Life has happened. I have moved. Their kids have graduated and gotten married, and we've just lost touch. So being able to reconnect. You can consider messaging people who always watch your stories, reconnecting with an old friend that you maybe have on your cell phone, but you haven't actually spoke to in a long time. And when you do, none of this is going to be like, hey, how you doing? I've got this big goal in Mary Kay. Okay, guys, it's June and we do have some really big goals. But if all we ever do is reach out in that way, then people do kind of tend to shy away. I I don't know about you, but I think all of us could realize when we pick up the phone and we see that one person's message, we know they're just going to ask me about, trying their new product. I'll deal with that later. You don't want to be that person. You want to have that relationship because that's what makes Mary Kay different than every other business is we have the relationship building. So you can ask them, how's their summer going? Um, Strengthen the connection with them. Anybody have any questions? Because I feel like I am running through my notes really, really fast. But so on, then I'm gonna move on and say, okay, I told you guys, customers, friends, acquaintances, social media. Your goal is to write 25 people in each one of these. And like I said, if they come to mind right away, write them down. I do believe that that's a God thing. I also believe that, you should ask God, hey, show me those people. For the social media one, I strongly encourage you to go look at your last post. If you have stories going on right now, look at who is viewing those stories. Make sure to put them in there, especially if you have not been reaching out to them. And like I said, you're not going to say, oh, thanks so much for, liking my post about the new foundation. So much as, you know, I see we haven't got to visit and reconnect. And how are you doing? Do you have any fun plans for the summer? How are the kids? Like, thank you for liking my post or commenting on my post. It's prompting me and reminding me that we haven't connected in a really long time. And I'd love to just know how you're doing. How can I pray for you? What's new in your life? Because it's building a connection that's stronger than anything else. I know I see most everybody is heads down feverishly writing. TK, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. How I can I interact like that for a lot of people, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to make the transition or bring up that what I do
So,
and how to even give them the opportunity to ask me about it because I mean it's in my name. I'm TK O'Hara Mary Kay. But most people assume that's additional names that I have. So, I mean, what's besides the initial contact and talking to them and then trying to build a back and forth conversation, you know, what do I do? How do I get me into there
so
later
we're
on?
we're going to be talking. This is going to be something we kind of build on. So if I don't answer it today, it's probably going to be
Okay.
answered next week. But I have a couple questions in because I'm sure you're not the only one who might be thinking this. So my question is, like you said, it says TK O'Hara Mary Kay, but are you posting about your Mary Kay? Are you
Yes.
sharing? And it doesn't have to be all, here's sorry guys, my all my Mary Kay products are right back here, but here is the newest, latest, greatest Mary Kay product, and this is my new lip liner. But you can do some fun posts about, putting your lip liner on or putting your, eyeshadow on or something like that. Do engaging posts, things that will kind of drip in and
Uh-huh.
and softly share, but also it's going to happen naturally in the conversation, or it should. Now, there are some people who will never ask you about you,
Right.
but generally when you reach out to somebody, if you've reached out to me and you're like, hey Mary, thanks so much for liking my posts, I really appreciate that. How have you been? It's been forever since we've talked. I'm going to reach back, I'm going to respond to you and tell you life is good, things are kind of busy, yada 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 yada. And I'm probably going to end it with how have you been, if I didn't put that earlier in the comment. So somewhere in there, in a conversation, that other person is probably going to be asking, what's new with you? How are you? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that will allow you to slowly transition into that.
Okay.
Don't
Great.
don't overthink it. It really is just a conversation. It's two people
Right.
conversing, talking. And so somewhere
Mm-hmm.
in there, they're going to say something like that. And speaking of don't overthink it about that 100 names. Whoever comes to mind, write them down. Don't
Uh-huh.
go, I'm not going to write her down because she always ghosts me, or I'm not going to write her down because she said no 5 years ago when I asked her. I'm not going to write her down because, well, gosh, she's made it big. She's some big wig at some top firm. You guys think of Gloria Mayfield Banks. She was an executive. Like she didn't need Mary Kay in that aspect, but she needed Mary Kay in another aspect.
Right.
If that makes sense. Um, so don't overthink it. If God gives you a name, write that name down, please.
Okay.
Um,
I know that speaking of that, I have a sister, and both my sisters and my family like didn't want to have anything to do with me with Mary Kay.
mhm.
But I have one sister who recently, once we had the customer appreciation sale, I told her she was a nurse that I would include her in it, if she was interested, and I'd given him a couple of Mary Kay products for gifts. She ordered almost $300 worth of stuff and has ordered about two or three times since then, individual products to fill the gaps. So yeah, they will they can change their minds over the period of time.
Yes, yes, that is a prime example. I have family that don't buy from me. I have many times told people your family and your close friends probably are wanting the discount. Um, I had family that still to this day, Mary sells lipstick. Like, she left an executive type job for lipstick. But you guys, they don't pay my bills. We got to remember that. And I want you to remember on this list or take note on this list. Nobody is going to be recruited or sold to with this 100 names. And that might sound extremely counterintuitive. Um, it's kind of a weird thought process, maybe, but we're simply identifying names and people that are already in our world that we're going to connect with. They might or might not become a customer or buy from us, but we're building relationships. And this is amazing practice that you're going to need for the rest of your life, that we all do. And with this list, I want you to, I want to challenge you um, to reach out to them. And you might just reach out to, five a day or one a day. Maybe you're like, all right, Mary, this is a lot for me. Okay, reach out to one a day. But throughout the week, you're going to be reaching out to these people, not for a booking, not for sales, just to connect with them because the heart of Mary Kay is connection and relationship. And again, I've had these conversations with God because I'm like, we're midway through June. We need like sales, 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 team members. Let's go. And God said, trust me, Mary. So I'm trusting him and I'm asking you guys to trust him too. Cause I'm still like, being honest, I still kind of am going, why aren't we sharing something different? But this is what I feel like we're supposed to be sharing. So it's building not only for today, but for our future, for years and years to come. Um, so it might be something like, Anna, how was your vacation? Okay. Now I know Anna wasn't just on vacation, but she's the person I looked up and seen on the screen. So, it might be something that I was like, hey Anna, I just seen your vacation pictures. They looked so fun. Or maybe it's, Deb went on vacation 3, 4 months ago, but I didn't find out about it or I missed it. I have a friend and a customer of mine, Jana, and she just traveled to like Europe again. And I love seeing her photos. And sometimes I miss them. So I could reach out and say, I loved seeing those. That was so much fun. Where's your next vacation? They go on some of the most amazing vacations, and I see so much history. It's so awesome. But ask somebody, how's their summer? Tell them you've been on my mind lately. Um, Maybe you've seen like that they had a life event earlier in the year. The graduation just happened. So a lot of people just had somebody graduate. Say something if you're like, okay, I don't know what to say, but you could even say something like, I'm such a jerk. I've been thinking about reaching out to you and life just got busy and I didn't. I'm sorry. I promised myself, though, that I was going to, the next time you came up on my mind, I was going to stop everything and send a quick message. And wouldn't you know it, you just came up on my mind. So tell me, how are you? What's new with you? How are you doing? Being honest. Um, the goal here is conversation, not your commission check. Your commission check comes, I promise, but it's conversation. It's building connection. This may or may not be a new customer for you. It may not be your new recruit, but she may lead you to somebody, and she's going to lead you to them and introduce you to them because of the way you made her feel, the way you treated her. So we need to treat everybody like they're human. Take the dollar signs out of our eyes. What was the thing Mary Kay would say? Take the penny out of your eye to see the dollars, right? Anna's gonna take it off mute and tell me the right sentence. Oh, sorry, Anna. I thought you were reaching for your phone. You didn't have to.
It's take the dollar out of your sign or out of your eyes. I don't think it has anything to do with the
Okay.
pen. It
Okay.
you quit looking at the pennies to get to the dollars, but it's take the dollar sign out of your eyes so that you can see them as a person, because it is ultimately the connection that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It's interesting. I had a party right after. Well, I had a party last week, my first party since my mom died, and I was a little worried. So I prayed on the way there. I'm like, I don't want to cry. I just want to, do this party. But it was a customer I've had for probably well, not 2 decades, but almost. And it was just very, very nice. I didn't even really think about selling. We just played with the products. And it was it was a $600 party with 3 people. So that's what happens when you stop thinking about, oh gosh, I've got this pressure to sell this or to do this or to do whatever. You just have fun with it. So
Yeah. Yes. It's having fun with it. And this getting back to the communication to have fun with it. It's always connection before a sale, before the opportunity. They see you as a friend because you are a friend. And then they're wanting to share you with their friends, right? And they may know somebody who takes you to the very next level or beyond. Um, and you wouldn't have that opportunity if every conversation you had with them was just transactional. Oh, how are you doing on your Mary Kay? Great. I've got that on its way. Have a good day. And then you reach out when you get the catalog. Did you get the catalog? What can I get for you? You've got to have that relationship with them because that's what makes us different in Mary Kay. That's what our customer service level is second to none. So um, the fastest way to grow your audience isn't finding new followers, it's connecting with the ones that you already have. And as I was saying, to reach out, you are kind of customizing it, but a lot of it can actually be kind of a copy paste, maybe change a little word here or there. But you guys all have time to, send one or two at a time. If you've got extra time and you're like, I'm going to go through 10 right now, great. Sit down and spend a little bit. And I personally say, okay, Lord, show me who to talk to. And please keep away the wackadoodles. And I can't remember who I was talking to earlier this week, but I was talking to somebody. It might have been Anna and Cynthia, but or maybe it was a few different people. But when I was doing my reach outs last weekend to old leads, I was there was a time when I would have read the messages that I got and went, oh, knife to the heart. Maybe I shouldn't reach out to anybody. Okay. Because they were like, lose my number, you know, don't ever contact me again. I have no interest. Okay. Well, those were like 3 messages versus the, more than dozen that I've been able to send packages to that we're getting together, a couple that we have gotten together. So I was like, as soon as I got it, I was like instantly, thank you, Jesus, for keeping away the wackadoodle. I don't know who she is, but bless her. And, I had to just bless and release. And I'm not wishing wrinkles to her. Okay, but that is a funny thing. You guys will hear us say sometimes where we say wrinkles to you, like just let it go, let it go. But it was the let it go. And thank you, Lord, for keeping away. I have no clue what was going on, but that could have been something that could have been devastating for us. So this is a a building. This is building a thriving audience. Is what we're kind of doing here with these reach outs, okay? Because we're building a connection, and they have already. I'm thinking of the social media ones. They've already been reaching out in a way to you. They've been connecting with you if they are reacting to your posts, commenting on something. So you're going to build a better, more deeper, more meaningful relationship with this conversation. How are you doing? However your conversations go. What can I pray for you for? What's new? Do you have any exciting plans this summer? How was the graduation? Did your son's graduation go exactly as you had thought? Was it hard like it was for me? Have those conversations, build those relationships. And if it's not on social media, say you're going through your phone and getting those text message people, it's building the relationship, because you're going to want to where people are going to start coming to you for their needs because they see you as a friend who can actually help them out. Karen, did you want to say something? Yeah, come off mute. Hang on, you're still
Gotta
on
get the
mute.
phone to
There we go.
cooperate.
Yay.
I actually did have this kind of situation where I reached out to somebody they know that is a customer of mine, and she hasn't bought from me in a while. And I didn't bring it up. We discussed whatever it was, don't remember. And then she brought it up. She says, I need my product. And she only buys a couple times a year, and she just buys 3 of the eye gels. That's $60. She 3 at a pop. 60 is 60. So
Exactly. Yes. I
can
love
I
it.
can I share something else too?
Yes, please.
Can you dream with me for a minute? We are looking for a home too. We've been displaced for 5 years. Okay. And I actually have gotten my husband in on it with me now too. And we have found a house that we like. And if any of you, well, maybe the majority of you went into the house, you'd go, not so much. It's kind of a quirky house. The master closet is like 8 feet, 20 inches deep. That's it. But you know what? That master bedroom sits right by a really small bedroom. Break a hole in that wall, and I got a huge closet. The kitchen is kind of tiny, narrow. It's maybe got as much cabinetry or more than I have here, but it's just really narrow. But I have a little bit of a vision on what could be done with the inside of the house. It does have a separate area where I can have it used to be a breezeway. Somebody closed it in. It can be an office. But you know what this house has? It has a casita. So to me, that is income possibility. We can do Airbnb. It can be available for when my kids come to town. And it's nice. The casita is none of this is decorated. The casita was recently refurbished, so it's brand new inside, brand new bathroom, brand new everything inside. So it's a bedroom, bathroom, and a living area. And they already put in a kitchen sink and counter, a little one, and I can expand that a little bit. And then on the roof, it has solar panels that are already paid off. So there's a monetary savings on that house, and there's monetary income possibilities. I could even have a party in the casita if I wanted to. Of course the house too, but it's just all this dreaming. The house got an offer on it, and then it fell off, and it's back in the market. As I said, it's kind of a quirky home. It's not going to sell right off the bat, obviously. And I've said, I believe in the sovereignty of God. If He wants us to have that home, we will have that home, because there's going to be a little bit of time before we can get together the money to make the closing costs. if we need to do that, because my offer that I'll put in would be to pay half the closing. And this is a byline for you guys at all, a little education. If it's been 5 years since you've purchased a home and you're wanting to buy a new home, there are programs out there that will pay your down payment for you.
Ooh.
Yes, there's a couple. One, if they paid your down payment, depending on what you signed up for, you'd have to hold the same mortgage for 3, 5, or 7 years at a higher interest rate to kind of sort of pay some of it back.
Mhm.
And you couldn't refinance your home until after that. We're not going to use that one. The one we're going to use is they'll pay the required down payment, and you just have a raised mortgage for 6 months, and that's it. After 6 months, you can resell your home if the interest rate is lower out and refinance it. That's the one we'll use. We won't have to do a down payment because we technically have never had our name on a home. We thought we did, and it ended up being under my brother and sister-in-law's name still. We had purchased it for them. Anyway, so one of the things that I would do in renting out that casita is I would put one of the little travel-sized satin handsets out in the bathroom and invite them to use that. Of course, my name is on it. And then I would have to figure out another way, like a tiny sign somewhere that says, this is, what I do. But God told me recently to not stop dreaming. So I invited you into my dream. And if any of you, if I ever occur on your mind, just agree with me in prayer that God is leading us to the home where we need to be. Because I feel like when we moved into this home, and it probably didn't apply to this, that God was going to give me a home where I could have parties. I feel very much on the edge of Phoenix because we kind of literally are literally on the edge of the desert. We're at the back of the community on the outside of my wall. That's the desert, quite honestly. Nothing back there but desert. So I feel disconnected from the world, but in the disconnection, God is building my relationship with Him a whole lot more than He has really done in my entire life. That's what I feel like right now. So there's purpose in my being disconnected, but yet there's building me up to send me off. You know what I mean? So anyway, I wanted to share that. That's my dreaming. Those are my thoughts. And yeah.
I love it, Karen. Thank you. And you and I will chat later because I have some, before the house burned here, it was our Airbnb. So I have some ideas for your little casita and your Mary Kay. And if anybody else has questions or ideas, we can share about that on a different meeting. But thank you. And we will keep you in prayer. And you are so right. It's all in God's timing. So listen to those promptings from God. Reach out to those that God is telling you to write down. Does anybody have any other questions before I turn it over to Anna?
Oh, I was just going to add too. I watch this one network marketer. He has like a generic platform, but he says when you're talking to somebody that you're not quite familiar with, to start up a ping pong conversation with them, use the acronym LORD.
Oh.
L for location. Where do you live? Do you like it down there? How's the weather? O for occupation. What do you do for a living? R for recreation. When you're on your downtime, where do you like to go? What do you like to do? And D is for dream. If you were to look in the future 5 years from now, where do you think you'd be? What's your plans for your future? So Lord, location, occupation, recreation, and dream. And that'll start up all kinds of conversations you never knew you had.
Wow, wow, wow. Deb, I'm going to use that when I'm reaching
Thank
out
you
to
so
my
much. That's
100
good.
people this
Mhm.
week. We could use that with
Absolutely.
so many. Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Even when you're out and about, you could
Mhm.
start up a conversation using those. Just sitting
Yeah.
down talking to people. Uh-huh.
Yes. Awesome. Anybody else have comments or questions before Anna takes over?
Mary, I think we should hold mine till next week. There's too much information and we're at the end here.
Okay. Now, Anna, do you want to, we do have 8 minutes, and if nobody else has anything, do you want to maybe give a couple ideas? That way, if people are like, okay, I just do not have 100 names on here. Do you want to just give one or two ideas?
I think the thing that I noticed from the ideas, and these ideas are really good, but they're really kind of involved. So I'm not sure that I can really cover any one of them quickly.
Mhm.
But the one thing that as I listen to yours, you're right. There's a lot of people in your life. Recently, I'll just give an experience. I was walking, I've been walking the neighborhood across the street in Aberdeen with Mowgli a lot, just spending a lot of time in my head, kind of actually being like avoiding things, avoiding whatever. Right. But what was funny is Mowgli is kind of a magnet for people, and everyone wants to come and pet him. And so I met a lady in the neighborhood because of Mowgli, and we started walking. And so she's going to be a new face. So I guess the one thing that I can tell you is if you truly are doing the list that Mary said, and you can't really think of anybody, like you're kind of stalled, like you've really talked to a lot of people, it might be time to get out of your house, not just for Mary Kay, but because we're not meant to be isolated. And I realize that as I talked to this new friend, we spent an hour and a half yesterday walking and talking. And I got to hear her story. She got to hear my story. And she's excited about trying Mary Kay, and she's a nurse and blah, 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 right? But we're not meant to live in isolation. And so we are meant to connect. And if you ever thought, I'd love to have big things come out of this business, it's not going to be by you sitting in your house thinking about, oh, I can do this. It's time, ladies. Get out of your house. Go meet somebody. Go to the store. Go take a walk. Go pick up a hobby. We are meant to be with others. So there's my good tip. And then I'll follow up with some really strong ideas. But I don't feel like I could cover any of them very well if I tried to do it now.
Yep. I understand. I love that. Thank you. And like Anna said, okay, so I know there are some of us who can't get out a whole lot, but so if you are like most who go, oh, well, that's a great idea, but it just doesn't work. Here's the thing. You all do go to the grocery store, right? So I may not be able to spend 6 hours in town wandering around, and most people can't. But I do go to the grocery store. I do go to the post office and the doctor's office. So smile and visit with people. Give them a little blessing. Like I was only out of the house for an hour yesterday, but I think I interacted with a dozen people while I was out and about. And I had ran into one store. I'm just grabbing this. So I just had my little wallet. I have business cards in there, but my goodie bags were in my purse in the truck. And so I ran back out, grabbed 3 little packages and brought them back in. Here, gave them to the ladies that were working there to be able to bless them. It doesn't have to take hours and hours, but when you're out, bless somebody. Cynthia.
Oh, I just want to say the World Cup, one thing people from every nation say is that Americans are so friendly. They're like, you don't talk to people in our country like that. So they're like, so I guess the point I'm trying to make is that most people will talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you say hi to them, if you make them feel important, like, oh my gosh, I love that shirt, and all of a sudden you're in a conversation with them. And it does, if you don't, then maybe you were meant to make their day. So,
Yep. And sometimes
anyways,
nothing comes out of it business wise, but like Cynthia just said, you were meant to make their day. That will leave an impression upon them for a very long time.
mhm,
So when you
so,
are out and about, definitely do that.
Oh, and one last thing.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have taken advantage of, I have a customer in particular who I know Her groceries are delivered, like everything is delivered. Um, Maybe it's time to not get the delivery. Maybe it's time to just walk out of the house. And I know Cynthia has, health issues with her seizures. Cynthia does a lot of stuff outside the house. She is, she's very active in her church. She's on the Teller community, blah, blah, blah,
Teller
blah.
Business Builders, UPass Symphony Guild.
Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't, Cynthia. I hear it.
Help the needy.
Help. Yeah, but Cynthia, regardless of her health issues, she gets out a lot. Now, it's all based on, where Dan can take her, if she can walk or those sorts of things, but it might be time to leave the house for a little bit. That's what Gloria Mayfield Banks said. Girl, leave your house, go somewhere, go say hello. It's not even about business. I'm just saying for your own sanity and health. We want to be isolated, Sandy. And do something fun, by the way.
Hang on. Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Okay, so here's a question. If you are affiliated with a church, they're having camp right now. Why not do a
Yes.
spa night for the girls? Why not talk to them, or even just talk to the youth group and say, hey, um, how about let's do like something fun for the kids this summer. Let's do a spa night, and do the let them wash their face with the Mary Kay stuff, do the the gel patches. That in itself is going to show how good taking care of your skin feels. Maybe educate while you're there. That goes along with what I've always said. Girl Scouts, you know, they have to have their hygiene patch. Remember that. They have to do that. So, I mean, just things that you can reach out to right now in your community. A lot of garage sales are going on. Have five or 10 business cards with you, and intentionally speak to people. Oh wow, that is a very that that's a great deal on that purse. That you did great. Oh, here's my business card. Whatever. You know, there's little things where you can actually say something that you don't have to feel like you're like, oh, I'm on top of this person. How do I do this? How do I ask? You don't have to make it part of just your normal speaking with people.
Oh, Dorothy gave some good ideas. And then if you have to get off, it's 8 o'clock. So
Yes. Sandy, thank you for those great ideas. You are so
yes,
right.
thank
And
you.
yes, Dorothy also put them in the, not the same ones. Dorothy put them in the chat too. Um, wearing your pin, of course, like Sandy said, always having business cards, but wearing your pin, um, and letting, when somebody comments on it, letting know that you earned it as a prize. Let it start a conversation. People used to say, turn your pin upside down. So people would say, oh, your pin's upside down. And you could say, oh, I did that on purpose so that the person who noticed would get this gift. I hope you have a wonderful day. Um, so yes, it is. We've been on for an hour. So if you guys have to get off, we totally understand. Thank you all so very much. I hope this has blessed you.
Thank you, everyone.